Yo guys, what is up? Welcome back to the new video. I'm the Casual Racing Gamer. Today we are going to be going to Red Bull Ring and we are going to be doing the lap time challenge. I'm going to show you guys how I actually achieved goal. So my goal of this video is not to help the fast guys get faster. My goal is, and what this channel is usually about, is helping the slower guys improve and get better. Like myself, you know, I'm never claiming to be a fast guy. I've always told you how slow I am, and I'm always learning, and I'm just trying to improve. So my goal is always to help other people improve. So like if you've gotten bronze here, we're going to try to get you to silver. If you're silver, we're going to try to get you to gold. If you're gold, you don't need my help. You guys are there already. So for me, I grinded I grinded for hours and hours and hours to get here. This isn't something that just comes natural to me and I just hop in and I just throw like this great, awesome lap time. It took a lot of time to get here. I finally got to gold here at a 118.523, and I changed something up, but gave me a 118.353. This is the one I'm going to actually analyze. I'm going to tell you everything that's going through my mind, things that worked for me, things I tried that didn't work for me. And maybe, you know, my tips can help some of you guys just move up a little bit, you know, get to that next level. So we're going to hop into it. And again, there's one thing I did differently between the 118.353 and the 118.523, but I'm gonna explain that when I get into it. So let's hop into it. I'll go over everything. If you guys enjoyed the video, definitely thumb it up, subscribe, and you know, for you guys that are fast out there, if you have other tips to share, you know, leave it down in the comments. Everyone reads through those comments, and it just helps. It helps all of us out, including myself. There's so many tips you guys shared that helped me improve to get to where I am today. So thanks to all of you guys as well. So one thing I did in this lap, and you know, I tried driving this car with traction control off plenty of times, and this car is really, really hard to use with no traction control. So my recommendation is to use traction control on 1, but I did something a little different in this lap. I didn't do it in my other lap that I hit gold, but I just wanted to, once I hit gold, I was like, I can play around a little bit. So I wanted to attempt something here, and it's not necessarily this move that made me beat my last gold score. I could have just nailed everything a little bit better. But what I did was I turned off traction control at the start. And remember, this car is really hard to drive without traction control. So you really need good acceleration. You really need to really baby that acceleration pedal. But if you guys are like, you know, in bronze or like silver, do not try this. You guys can totally hit the next level and even hit gold with traction control on 1. That's not going to be the differentiator here. But I used no traction control on turn 1 to see if I can pull out a little bit faster than my last gold. And then what I did after I actually pulled out a little bit further, I switched to traction control 1. I just want to see if I can get ahead of myself in turn 1 without traction control on. And then I immediately, once I pulled ahead, I threw traction control on to 1 and ran the rest of the course with traction control on 1. So let's hit each turn. I'm going to go over everything step by step. And just hopefully, you know, as I talk you through this is not a track guide. So don't confuse this as a track guide. I'm not fast enough to give you guys a track guide. This is just everything that I've taken in from other track guides, watching replays of the fast drivers, watching their ghosts, racing with their ghosts, and things that I use from all these other things that I've watched, and I put it into my own driving. Everyone's driving style is going to be totally different, and I understand that. So things that work for me might not work for you. You have to play around, but I'll show you the things that I've actually played around with, and it's things that you can play around with. My ABS is on default. I didn't touch the ABS right here. So we're gonna, you know, come in here. You want to go into 4th gear. You want to drive it as fast as possible. You want to get as much speed as you possibly can on this straight. Now what I did here is coming into turn 1 is I'm going to start heading to the left, and I'm going to stay keep my left tires on the green, and I'm looking at the 150 board. Now I played a lot around this turn 1, and if you can nail turn 1, you're going to do a lot better on this course. So make sure you're always beating turn 1. If your ghost is racing, if you're racing your ghost, always try to beat that ghost in turn 1. So I've tried slowing down here right when the grass kind of meets the pavement and a little before like we hit that green. I've tried slowing down there. I've tried playing with just shifting down to 4th gear and coming out in 4th gear into turn 1. But I tried slowing down, braking a little bit later, going from 5th to 4th to 3rd to 2nd into quick shift into 4th. But the thing that worked for me was I'm looking at about the 150 board here, and I'm going to shift down to 4th and then 3rd. So I'm braking in a straight line, and I'm going to trail brake into the right turn, right into that apex. I'm going to trail brake in 3rd, and I'm going to switch to 4th and you can see me slowly starting to get on my brake here right before the 150 board. Now, if you guys are coming into turn one too hot, it's really important that you don't want to come into turn one hot. You think you need to hit this really fast, but you actually don't. What you're going to get, where you're going to gain all your time is getting on the throttle coming out of turn one. That is where you will overtake. You know, if you've been racing your Ghost, if you're going to overtake them, it's going to be how much better you can get on your throttle coming out of turn one. So as we're moving here, you can see me braking more. I'm still not braking fully here. I'm still in fifth. Now I'm braking fully right now. So again, everyone's braking is going to be different. I drive this another time. My braking is still going to be different, but that's kind of where I'm aiming towards. I'm starting to brake at the 150, and then depending on you know, how I'm taking turn one, I might brake harder sooner, brake harder later. I might even start braking a little harder before the 150. It's all going to depend on your driving style. We're going to stay in fourth here. We're going to shift down to third. When I start seeing the 50, and if you can actually see the use the marks on the actual track to help you, because you can see the actual track where my car is headed, and you can see it get darker on the actual track coming into that right. So I'm kind of looking at that and being like, that's going to be the line. That's where I want to hit, because coming into turn one is you don't want to hit that yellow as we come into turn one on the right side, but you want to get really close to it, and you want to make sure your car is rolling there where you can slowly get on that throttle and then nail it. So what we want to do now is we want to trail brake in third gear, and we want to slow the car down that we can rotate it, but we want to make sure we can keep our momentum going and roll it. You want to roll the car as fast as possible, and this isn't accelerating. This is just letting the car naturally roll with how much we slowed it down. And what we're going to do is, as we're coming into here, we're going to shift into fourth gear, right? So we're still rolling. I'm still braking. I'm starting to slow down my brake just as I'm turning the car in here. I'm still in third gear. I shift into fourth. I'm still braking now, and my car is still rolling with really good momentum. I'm still a little bit on my brakes because I want to make sure I nail this right where I want. Now, I am doing this in PSVR 2, so I have a good view of where I want my car to be, where I'm looking. I'm looking down at the apex. So, you know, depending on how you're driving, you might have different feelings of things and everything else of where you are. But again, I'm following that line on the actual course itself, and we're going to basically roll here. Now, you can see me slowly getting on the throttle, and this is where you want to be careful. You don't want to just slam the throttle. Now, I am running with no traction control here, so I need to really be careful when I start putting my foot on the throttle. But when you're with traction control one, the car has good grip, but you don't want to start flooring it when your car is not straight enough. What you want to do is you want to slowly give it gas until you can feel the good traction on your car, when you can just nail it down. So here you can see me slowly giving my car gas. Coming in here. Now, if you use hop over this yellow a little bit, you're still good, and that can actually help you straighten the car out. So just be cautious of that. Know what you're doing. And now I'm full throttle here. Once I get that car straight, I am slamming. Again, don't forget to use your overtake button. Definitely, a lot of times I just keep my finger on the overtake button, or with this turn and some other turns in particular, I might take it off until I straighten that car out, start accelerating, and then slam on the overtake. So you'll have to play with the overtake button as you guys are driving. So once I'm in fourth here, I'm sailing straight out. I stay to the right, and then I come to the left. So what happens here is I changed my traction control from 0 to 1, and you can just do that right from your wheel. I actually was able to do it. You could just scroll to the right. It shows you in the bottom right, and you just switch it from 0 to 1, because now I was able to get ahead of my Ghost. And again, I was just testing it out without traction control, but I didn't want to race this whole track without traction control. I just want to see if I can overtake myself at turn one to give myself even a little more advantage over my Ghost that I was trying to beat. But again, I already got gold using traction control through all the turns here. This was just something I was just experimenting with. So definitely use traction control to get your times. So we're going into fifth. We're going to quickly shift into sixth, not for long. And what I found here is I never wanted to get over too much to the left. Whenever I was over too much to the left and my left side of my car was hitting the green, I always found I had trouble slowing my car down where I needed to. I also messed around with what gear to come down to coming into this right-hander. I went from 6th to 4th. I went from 6th to 3rd. I went from 6th to 2nd. The thing that worked for me was going all the way down to first gear. And I felt like once I did that, I was able to rotate the car the best around the actual turn itself. And I was able to get on the throttle soon, and it really helped me out here. So you'll actually see my car. I'm braking hard. So let me actually just go back and show you where I'm actually braking here. And we can actually watch turn 1 in real time right here, just so you can see it going into on next turn. So slowing it down, coming in all the way to the left, coming into the right, keeping that car rolling. Once I'm straightened out, I'm getting back on that throttle, keeping it to the right. I'm trying to drive a straight line to the right side, and then we'll bring it over to the left. And then let's see where I start braking. So I'm in 5th. I'm going to quickly shift to 6th. I'm not braking yet, but in my head is I need to start braking right about now. Once I see that grass end, this is where I'm going to start braking. And then I'm going to brake hard. So I'm going to brake really hard. I'm going to slow that car down. I'm going to slowly shift 3rd to 2nd into 1st. And now when I'm into 1st, and again, I'm trying to use the actual road to your advantage. There are good lines on that road that actually show you where you want to put your car. And if you can actually follow that, make sure your car is at the speed where you can actually follow this, you can be pretty successful. So I'm looking at the dark part of the road, trying to follow that through into this right-hander, and I'm going to follow it through. Now, I take this really nice and tight. You can take this a little bit wider and come out even and still gain speed, coming out a little bit wider if you really wanted to. So I'm coming out here, again, straightening the car out. Don't be afraid to go slow into this turn. I think a big mistake is a lot of people probably hit this turn a little too hot and go way far out. You don't want to go too far out. You want to make sure you slow the car down. Don't ever be scared to slow your car down. It's something that I always preach is if you want to go fast, you need to slow down. So as long as you slow down in the correct places, you want to get on that throttle as soon as possible. So I come down into first gear. I quick shifted up to 3rd. Now, I'm not going to rev 3rd out. If you're going to see, I'm going to actually go a little bit into 3rd and quickly go to 4th. I've tried going right to 4th, but I felt like I got the most speed in giving it a little bit on 3, not revving 3 out, but then shifting right to 4. So you'll see me shift it out here a little bit. Still straightening the car out. And also on a lot of these turns, when I'm slowing the car down and sometimes it's rolling, as I'm coming out, I'm usually trying to give it a little throttle to just keep the car moving forward, give it a little more momentum. Just every little second you can, every little like a tenth of a second you can gain by just slowly coming in your throttle around the turn as opposed to just slowing down and then slowly rolling it. I'm always trying to see where can I start, giving it a little more gas just to start moving that car forward until you actually can get down on that pedal. So from 3rd, you'll see actually, I'll shift up a little bit here. You'll see it come, right? I'm going to go like halfway into 3rd, and I quickly went to 4th. And I felt like that was the most speed I was gaining as opposed to just going directly to 4th gear. Just giving it a little bit in 3rd into 4th was helping. Now, this next turn was a killer for me. This turn, so many times I would just lose my own ghost, and I just couldn't get back to driving it correctly. So in my mind here, I'm looking at the 150, and where my car is, I was trying it all the way to the left. I was trying it like all over the place. I was trying all different gears, and the thing that worked for me was not going too far to the left and keeping the car more on the actual track itself when I started braking. And it's right before the 150. I felt like if I went to the 150, I was overrunning this turn. So it was pretty important to start braking, and I was braking on the actual pavement itself and not to the left. I felt like the car was harder to stop and it would roll. It would just roll too much when I got to the end of this turn. So going down to 3rd, braking hard now, coming right to like that white line, but I'm still not bringing my car over all the way to the left. I just felt like I was able to stop the car better to make this actually, this right-hander right here. We're going to go keep it in 2nd, actually. And again, I messed with so many different gears here. Keeping it in 2nd was the greatest. Follow the darkness of the actual track. Follow those tire marks. It's there to help you. We're going to roll through 2nd. Again, don't be scared that you need to be super fast while you're rolling. Keep it nice and rolling. You can see me starting to throttle here a little bit, just to keep that forward momentum. I'm not slamming on it yet. I'm kind of clipping the curb on the inside. I felt like if I clipped the curb on the inside, I was able to come out a little bit better and a little faster. And we're going to quickly shift up to fourth. We're going to come out in fourth gear. I messed around with coming out in second, coming out in third, coming out in fourth. And coming out in fourth was actually giving me the best time right here. We're going to try to aim it to the outside. If you try to cut in too soon, I felt like you would lose a lot of time, and you can't really just nail the throttle. I felt like if I came out a little bit wider, I was able to actually nail the throttle, gain a lot of speed. So I came all the way out here, as you can see, all the way out to the red-white checker on the floor, then bringing it in, keeping it in fourth now. Now we're looking at about the 150, and you can see I'm full throttle. We're going on 150. I mean, to the 100, we're gonna start braking here. So actually, we're right at the 100. I keep confusing 150 and 100. We're right at the 100. You can see my brakes actually starting to come in here. Now this is something where you need to kind of play with. And I'm going to switch from fourth to third. We're going to use third to rotate the car. I've also messed around with going to fourth, staying in fourth, rotating. But rotating in third definitely helped me out. I'm braking hard now at the 50. I'm kind of gearing in to the left right now. And again, those marks on the track are so helpful sometimes. We're going to keep it to the left. Now, be careful here. If you start clipping the red-white on the left, you could unstabilize your car and it'll make it slip a little bit. So you want to be careful here. Now, I'm still trail braking into this turn because you want to kind of really keep as much momentum as you possibly can coming in here. So let's take a look at this in real time right here. Fifth to fourth, quickly to third, slowing down into second, rotating the car nicely on the inside, coming out in fourth. When I feel the car has nice grip, we're going to, slam on it. Then at the 100 mark is where we're going to actually start slowing down into third just to help rotate the car, coming down to the left, following it through. We're going to quickly shift up to four here. And this is where you need to be really careful. If you hit this wrong, your car will definitely slide. So but we want to try to stay on the inside. If you go a little too far to the outside, you're not going to be able to start coming out of this turn as fast as you'd like to. So we're going to come out in fourth as soon as we feel like we can hit to hit the right side of the track, and we're going to be aiming for the checker on the outside here. As soon as we can get on that throttle, we're going to keep it in fourth. We're going to run all the way straight here, right about there. We're going to start turning in right when that part of that course ends into the track. And we want to kind of nail. I'm going to also use third gear to, we're going to shift down to third to help rotate the car. Now I took this a little inside. You can stay a little more to the outside and follow the track, where the darker part of the track if you want. But I'm coming in here. I took it a little inside here, and I'm coming here and I want to clip this curb on the left. You can even go a little more over to the left. You'll actually probably gain a little more speed coming around this turn, but I took it a little more to the outside of the turn here. And as soon as you can get on this throttle, be careful coming out of the throttle here. You can definitely lose the car. Make sure you have a good spot where you're not going to overrun this next turn on the actual overrun the track on the right side. And we're going to be keeping this in fourth gear, and then we're going to shift up to fifth, and we're just full throttling it here. This next turn, if you're doing good, is going to make you nervous. Just calm down, breathe. Don't be nervous coming into this next turn, because sometimes, a lot of times, I'd be beating my ghost by a nice amount, and I would just blow it right here at the end because I was like so excited or a little bit too anxious. Don't be scared to actually brake a little earlier than brake later. But we're going to start braking at about the one. I actually start braking as you actually see before the 100. I actually started braking a little bit at the 150 because I could have gained more time if I would have went a little bit longer. I didn't really need to start braking at the 150. I could have definitely pushed it a little bit further, but I was a nice amount ahead of my ghost that I was racing, and I didn't want to blow it here. So this is where I kind of, pulled back a little bit, but I'm fully braking at about the 100. I did use third gear to rotate. Now, be careful if you rotate and slow down too much. You might actually clip the curb on the right side a little too much and then just ruin all your momentum. So just be careful here. I shifted up to fourth. I'm going to come out here. I'm going to come all the way to the left side here. I'm going to shift down to third again to rotate the car. Follow the track. The track is there for you. Follow those tire marks. Bring it in here. We're going to try to get as much speed as we can. I'm going to shift into fourth gear. right here. I'm still rolling the car. I'm rolling the car as fast as I possibly can roll it through the turn. That's the biggest thing, is always trying to keep that car to have that momentum, and you don't want to, if you can just roll it and get that car to turn the way you want it to turn, that's where all your speed is. And as long as your car is nicely, smoothly, just always that forward motion, the faster forward motion. And it's not about being fast in the turn, it's how fast you can just let your car roll through the turn comfortably, as opposed to just really slowing it down. If you roll it nice and comfortable through a turn, you can get on that throttle really fast. So coming out, we're in fourth gear, and then we'll shift up to fifth, and that will be the full lap. And let's actually we'll watch the full lap in real time, and we'll actually look at it. We'll watch it in the actual in-car view, which is the closest way that I race, which would be on PSVR2. So here we go. Taking it down into turn one, down to third gear, rotating, keeping it as much as inside as I can, rolling out in fourth, keeping it smooth. As soon as I can put that pedal to the metal, I'm flooring it. Fourth gear to fifth gear. We're going to quickly go to sixth gear right here. And then we're going to stay down. I'm going to kind of not go all the way to the green here. I'm going to rotate it in one. I'm going to come out in three slowly. And then I'm going to quickly go into fourth. Fourth into fifth. We're going to stay in fifth gear. Coming here, I'm looking at about the 150-ish. I'm going to slow the car down. I'm going to rotate it in second. I'm going to quick shift up to fourth. I'm going to try to stay to the outside and get as much speed just to keep that car nice and straight. We're going to come down here. We're looking at about the 100, and we're going to play with the pedal here to get this car to rotate nicely in third. We're going to switch into fourth. We're going to come out in fourth. Same thing here. We're going to switch into third to rotate. You can still take that turn a little more even on the inside than I did. As soon as we can pull out really fast into fourth gear, we're going to pull out. We're going to nail it. We're going to go into fifth. We can, between the 100 and 150, you can start braking here. And again, rotating in third into fourth, rotating in third again, back into fourth, and just coming around. It's all about how fast you can get on that throttle coming out. And then we're going to pull a 118, 353. So let me know if this helped you guys out. I really want to know if it helped you improve your time. If you went from like bronze to silver, silver to gold. Let me know in the comments. Obviously, you gold drivers probably don't obviously need this. You guys need to watch the real fast guys who can a lot faster than me. So I'm here to help. I'm here to help the slow guys. But hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. This is something a little different that I've done. It was kind of like it's not really a track guide, but maybe a track guide for slow guys to get a little faster. But hopefully it was good stuff. Definitely appreciate you guys watching. Comments below. Everybody, tips, tricks, leave them down there below for all of us. Definitely subscribe if you enjoyed it, and we'll catch you on the next one. We out of here. Peace.